This has been asked for loads in the comments. I don't know the singer, but I definitely know the song Tennessee Whiskey. Now, the singer is an Indonesian singer. I am really interested because this song is just fiendishly hard, and it requires not just technical excellence, but it requires soul. Let's have a listen.
Never let your glass empty, ever.
I think that's the opposite of the moral of the song.
I used to spend my nights out in a barroom.
Interesting.
Liquor was the only love I know.
It's so weird when you're so used to a version of a song and he's like changing up some of the rhythms, and it just feels really different. I love the husk in his voice. I think for this song you want to have the feeling that, you know, you've lived a life. It's about alcoholism, so you can't have like a lovely clean voice there. I feel like it needs that like grit to it.
But when you rescue me from reaching for the bottom and drown me back from being too far gone,
He reminds me of the guy from Nothing But Thieves.
you're smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
You're sweet as strawberry wine.
Here it goes.
You're as warm as a glass of brandy.
All right.
Honey, I stay strong on your love all the time.
I mean, his riff was so slick. It was so smooth. It looked so easy for him. It looked like it was just like breathing. As I say, I really love that grittiness in his voice. It doesn't sound like a put on distortion. It sounds like that's just part of his natural makeup, part of his vocal anatomy. Where does distortion come from? Where does that grittiness come from? Well, actually, sometimes it can come from something a little bit unusual, like uneven shaped vocal cords. It can come from a habit of putting your false vocal folds, which are, there to protect your vocal cords. They're areas of tissue that can kind of come across, and those get in the way and cause the distortion. There are kind of multiple things. It could be a polyp in your vocal tract that is shaking around. There are so many ways that you can get that distortion. It could just be a slight uneven vibration of the vocal cords. But it also can be put on. You can put the false chords across a little bit on purpose, or your epiglottis. That's another thing that can cause it. So his sounds very, very natural, and it gives it that feeling of like life has been lived, a bit of feeling of soul. But actually in his approach to it, he's really, really clean. It's almost like either slightly rocky or R&B rather than that country edge that I'm used to from Chris Stapleton. But the runs are so clean and so even that it is, R&B-ish in my mind, but the grittiness is rocky. It's just an unusual combination, and I'm just getting used to his version.
And I look for love in all the same old places.
Nice.
For the bottom of a bottle always dry.
I love the little flicks at the end he's doing.
But when you pour out your heart, I didn't waste it, no, I won't. Yes, 'cause there's nothing like your love to get me high.
Woo! Yeah! Okay. I was not expecting that, because normally it's like a flip on high. like a very gentle moment, but having the opposite, then it's a nice moment of like shock and surprise for the audience when you're used to it, and then you're like, oh, I see, this is where you're different from it, but you're also, this is your impressive thing, you're that big old belt. That's his stamp that's different from anyone else.
You're sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy.
Yeah.
Honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Raymond.
He's a funny guy as well.
Yang megang kamera, Yaya dan Made yang main gitar.
I love how he's just having the best time.
You're smooth as Tennessee whiskey. As Tennessee whiskey.
I love that. With the little flip at the end. I love how he's kind of lightening off at the end of a lot of these phrases, and instead of whiskey, that would be kind of weird. So he just touches it and like lands into the next phrase. It gives it this real kind of oozy feeling. Also, I really like his vowels. Instead of Tennessee whiskey, like I would say whiskey with an E. Depends on your accent, but he's going to that country whiskey, so it's an and it just makes it that bit warmer as well.
Tennessee whiskey, one more time. Yeah.
Woo!
You're smooth.
Yeah.
Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey.
Wow, wicked.
Hey!
It's really tough with a song like that because when it isn't your song and it's so iconic, even I was like, it's not Chris Stapleton for the first kind of half, and then he gave us those little bits of him that makes him different, and then you're like, yeah, no, you won me. By the second half, I was completely won over, and I think that's tough for any artist when taking on a song like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.